Bana a.
Nataka kuweka usalafu wote naingia.
Yes, good afternoon. Let's today I want us to look at short forms, and in literature we're saying that that is our literature. We're saying that we have it has three broad categories. That is our literature, and we started by looking at the oral narratives. That one we did in Form 1. And we also looked at short forms, not short forms, but oral poetry, stroke songs. This one was also taught in Form 1. But in the Form 2, I want us to look at the short forms. And these short forms, that is where we have the proverbs, we have tongue twisters, we also have the riddles. Again, we also have what you call the puns, jokes, and all the others. So for the moment, I want us to look at proverbs. We say what proverbs are. We shall look at characteristics of proverbs. From there, we shall also look at the stylistic features in proverbs. Then at last, we shall also try to look at the various functions of proverbs. Then from there, we shall have a few examples of the possible questions that we're likely to have when it comes to proverbs. And I hope you have somewhat right. So let's define. I'm going to share with you what I have so that we may maybe work together. You have somewhat right. Just please try to make some notes as I. So from what we have on our screen, we have short forms, and as I said that they are genus of oral literature that are performed or presented within a short period of time compared to oral narratives. Remember, we said that in short forms are part of one of the forms, the broad forms of oral narrative. So in this group, as I have said, we are going to deal with the short forms. And particularly, I want us today to look at the proverbs. Now, the proverbs, as we shall see, they are short sayings that contains deeper meaning. Proverbs are like now who is this highlighting? Somebody is trying to highlight. Let me help. Look at your screen.
Where do
Let's continue. That I am already started by saying that proverbs are short sayings, short, wise sayings that contain deeper meanings. When we are dealing with the proverbs, they are short, but they have deep meanings. They mean a lot, they carry a lot, and as we shall see, they are used to give either advice, they may be used to give counsel, and at the same time, they can also be used to warn. Now, these proverbs, unlike in the narratives whereby we may have a session maybe set for people to have narratives, or as we shall also see the time we should be looking at the tongue twisters, we shall also say that tongue twisters have a session. But when it comes to proverbs, we do not have a set period or set time that we may say now, let us now have a session whereby we shall either maybe compete with the others as the uses of poems, not poems but proverbs. What happens is that they are incorporated. We use them as we speak. That is now the difference. We use proverbs in our day-to-day lives as we speak. That is the time that we incorporate the proverbs. Now, I want us to look at characteristics. Now, for those who are writing, just give you a few minutes, 2 minutes, for you to be able to write a brief introduction about proverbs. Just write what they are. And I have mentioned that they are short, wise sayings that contain deep meaning. And we've seen that we have the various functions, and we've seen that some of proverbs may be used to give counsel. They may be used to either to advise people. At the same time, they may also be used to warn, give a warning, uh, either in a warning or more lessons to the audience. Now, let's look at characteristics of proverbs. Characteristics of proverbs, and I'm sure you are able to see what is on the wall. Now, characteristics of proverbs. One of the main characteristics of proverbs is that they are short and brief. That is characteristic number one, is that proverbs are short and brief. What does it mean? It means that they utilize the fewest words possible to communicate a meaning. You know that proverbs, unlike the narratives, they are very short, they are precise and straight to the point. Though you have to think of what they mean, they are short. You can just add them within a few seconds, and then you are complete with that proverb. For example, we have number one, as we've seen, we have one from the Maasai, and I may not read it, which in English says that you cannot advise a man who is after a woman. That is a proverb, and we see that it has only few words, according to the Maasai, the one that I have highlighted. In Maasai, it has only two words, but when you look at when it is in its original wording, that is from the Maasai, it find that it will only have two words, unlike when you translate it into English, whereby it will find that it has more words. But when you look at it when it's in its original language, that is the Maasai, Meiki, or what there is, as you can see, it has only a few words, and to get that means, and it has a lot of meaning. That if you happen to look at, there is a part that I've said, note that proverbs have mixed fixed wording. Proverbs have fixed wording. That means that the same ones have to be used every time the proverb is uttered. So we don't have a wide range of words when it comes to proverbs. It is not like when we have narratives whereby you can say it differently time and again. When it comes to proverbs, they have specific words that they use. So that is why I have said that they are fixed wording and have to be repeated anytime that we are using this proverb. Characteristic number 2 is that they are rich in meaning. Yes, somebody is raising his hand. Kamara, what do you have? Somebody is raising his hand. Kamora, where are you? Somebody is raising his hand. Where are you? Who is this Kamora? Just raise your hand again if you have a question before I proceed. Gaddafi, if you have a question, just raise it. I'll see it.
No.
It's okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. Characteristic number what? Number 3, no, number 2. We have seen that they are rich in meaning, that proverbs communicate ideas more profoundly than common language. Proverbs communicate ideas. Proverbs communicate ideas more profoundly than common language does. They usually have a service meaning. As we shall see, the proverbs may have the service meaning as well as the deeper meaning that communicate wisdom and truth. They give invaluable and well thought out insight into a situation or phenomenon. For example, if you happen to we have a Meru proverb that says, Moge ni muere. In the Kikoyu, we shall say that they says Moge ni motare, or a wise person, that which means that the one who says something has been told by another. That deeper meaning being that is that whatever people say, generally, they have heard from elsewhere. What people say, what they say, they must have heard it from somewhere else. So for us to be wise, the intermeaning, for us to be wise, we have to give time for those who have been in that experience to tell us what they went through, so that we may be able now to solve the current situation. So we should always be ready to hear and listen to the advice given by our elders. That is probably what the inner meaning or the deeper meaning of that proverb is. We may have a look at the characteristic number 3. Another characteristics of these proverbs is that they make characteristic number 3. Characteristic number 3, we have they use figurative speech to communicate various meanings. Characteristics number 3 about proverbs is that they use figurative speech, figurative language to communicate various meanings. For example, when look at figures of speech such as metaphor or simile, we have a proverb from Ukambani that says that ambushes tailed animal does not hop over fire. And you can see how it is. Just a minute. A minute. Let's continue. In case one has a question, somebody was raising his hand. Possibly you had something to say or ask. Let me give you that time so that you may hear, and then we continue. Adrian, you wanted to say something? Adrian Junior?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan? Yes.
I wanted to ask you to please repeat the explanation of the first and second characteristics.
And second characteristics, I think that the first characteristic is that proverbs are short and brief. What does it mean? Now, when if you compare these proverbs and other forms of oral literature, for example, when you come to the oral narratives, as you know, they are long, isn't it?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes,
When you
yes.
look at the narratives, they are long. You may not say it in just one breath. Are we together?
Yes.
Then,
Yes,
so that is why I'm saying that
yes.
proverbs, you can just say it, you can say a proverb within a few seconds. For example, when you look at a short form, a proverb, like, for example, sleeplessness knows no king. You just used a few seconds for you to complete that proverb, and yet it carries a lot of meaning, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, so that is why they are short. The number two, and I've seen that we're saying that in general, proverbs, they have fixed wording. What does that mean? That unlike the narratives whereby you can narrate a certain narrative using different styles or using different ones, when it comes to proverbs, you have to stick. Their wording is what? Is fixed. If it is the one like sleeplessness knows no king, there is no other ones that you can use apart from the ones that are there. Ryan, are we together? And
Now,
the others? Yes,
if you're asked a question, and then now when you're giving an
yes,
example of a proverb, you use
yes.
words with the same meaning as the ones in the proverbs, but you changed the exact words. Is that still right?
Sorry?
The words you used to write the proverb,
Yes.
the words in the
I'm
original
getting you, Ryan.
proverb. Yeah, the
Now,
words you're
what
using.
yes, with somebody is racing. Now, Ryan, what I'm saying with this one, just we have Austin. What is it, Austin? Austin. Austin, you have something to say? So, okay, Ryan, what I'm saying is that, Ryan,
Yes, yes.
hello?
Yes.
Austin's, I'm saying, no, there is a, what I'm saying is that it is, the proverb is the one that, that whose ones do not change. But now, when you are explaining, you may change the ones provided you retain the meaning. But when it comes to the proverb itself, the ones are fixed. You cannot change. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, Clinton, Joroge, you have something I can see?
No, I don't have something.
Okay, let's continue. I've seen about now that the next one that they are rich in meaning. Proverbs are rich in meaning. What does that mean? They communicate ideas more profoundly than a language. The language does. For example, when I happen to say that this proverb, I have come, I have found you doing so many things that I may feel that they may be, they may end up destroying your life. I might come and tell you, my friend, asiyefunzwa na mamaye, which is in Kiswahili, hufunzwa na ulimwengu, and I may stop there. Then it is up to, I love communicating. There are so many ones that I may use, but now I look at the proverb itself. It is short, but it carries a lot of information
Meaning.
when used. I'm saying meaning or the information. If you happen to listen to it, it carries a lot of what? The information, though it has a deeper meaning. For example, look at the one that we have, number 2, the example that we have in number 2, that says that, which is it, from Meru, that says that for you to know or what we say, we must have heard it from some other people. What does it mean? For us to be able to give advice, we must have at one time allowed others to advise us. Are you together? Yes. When we continue to the next number 3.
Yes.
Yes, number 3, I saying that number 3 is that they use figurative speech to communicate various meanings. Some of the proverbs, and most of them, we'll find that, and we said when you talk of figures of speech, for example, we may have metaphor whereby we compare things directly without the use of what, either as or like. For example, looking at the proverb that we have, I don't know how many who will read this proverb for us. Number 3, someone read the yes. Yeah. Yes. Who else? Who is fluent in this language that we hear? I mean,
Gideon.
yes.
Gideon.
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 Hear from Gideon. Gideon. No. Let's hear from Gideon. Maybe yes.
Gideon.
Gideon?
Yes, Gideon is very fluent in that language.
Gideon.
One by one. Let's hear from Gideon. Let's hear from Gideon. Gideon, yes, read for us. Yes. Yes, that is what he says. That which Clinton, read for us in the translation in English. Clinton.
It says that
A bushy-tailed animal does not hop over the fire. tailed, or an animal that has a tail that is quite bushy, does not jump, does not hop over the fire. What does that mean? Obvious when, for example, if you happen to look at the squirrel, is it squirrel? That it has a tail. Hello? It has a tail. So the moment it hops or jumps over the fire, the tail is likely to catch fire. Are we together? Are we together? So when it catches fire, the translation for those may have not understood is that a bushy-tailed animal does not hop over the fire. The proverb uses metaphor. It has a metaphor that a bushy-tailed animal, which now may be used to refer to people who have weaknesses, to a person who has a weakness or limitation. For example, you know you cannot run fast, possibly because you have an injury somewhere, and you are the one to start doing what causing trouble. So if you know that you have maybe a challenge somewhere, a limitation, you just don't have to do or to seek for trouble. That is what it says. The bushy-tailed, the bush now, as you've seen, bushy-tailed animal, the bushy-tail is representing some of the the limitations or the weaknesses that you may have. Are we together? The proverb can be used to advise those who have weaknesses, not to criticize other people who have no weaknesses. For example, you know that you have a weakness. For example, what do I know? What do I say? For instance, you don't know how to maybe let's talk of those who like cycling bicycles, and maybe you have no experience, then you start now competing with those others that have used it for some years. What you do, that is a weakness, and you cannot go, you not compete with them. Let's look at the another characteristics of proverb. Another characteristic of proverb, number 4, they reveal a community's philosophy of life. Clinton, are you writing? And those others, I don't know how many you are.
Yes.
I cannot talk of those that I'm able to see. The number 4 is that they reveal a community's philosophy of life. When you happen to listen to some proverbs, we are very likely to know that this is from a certain community. For example, from the one that I have on the wall, from the Kiswahili, which says, Chamle, let's hear somebody else reading. This is Victor Jenga.
Chamlevi uliwa na mgema.
Just read it louder.
Chamlevi uliwa na
Read it
mgema.
louder.
Chamlevi uliwa na mgema.
Yes, chamlevi huliwa na mgema. Especially, what is mgema and what is mlevi? Which in English, somebody to read what it says in English. Who is Dennis Mwangi? Dennis Mwangi, you are with us? Moses Carrison, just say, read. Number 4, sorry.
What is owned by a drunk is eaten by the palm wine maker.
We can't hear you. What is eaten, what is owned by a drunk is a palm wine maker. What does that mean? Possibly, we may say that this community maybe makes what? Palm wine. And possibly it discourages irresponsible consumption of what? The palm wine. Are we together? Yes? Mumo Ernest, what is the problem?
You're together.
Mumo Ernest, yes?
Yes, I'm okay.
Any problem?
No,
Yes?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You are okay?
Yes.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah? You are okay. Then we have seen that this community, from what we say, that Chamlevi Huliwana Mugema, that the community discourages what? This irresponsible consumption of the palm wine. Yes. We also have another one, that another example, Kindore Kimonja. Kindore Kimonja Akifunji. What is this? Dennis Mwangi? Dennis Mwangangi, sorry. Are you in class?
Yes.
Where are you? I can't see you. Dennis Mwangi, I cannot see you. Let me see your face. We have Batia, Zawandi, Victor. Let me see your faces. Where are this? Where is this Batia? Buddy, I want to see your face. Yes. Now we have this admission 22314. Admission 22314. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Now we have the characteristic number 4. We also have this example 2 about Kidore Kimoja Kifunji Chawa. What does it say in English? Yes.
One finger cannot kill a mouse.
One finger cannot kill a mouse. What does it? What can we say about this community?
The community values unity.
The community values unity, that unless people are united, then there is no way they may solve the challenging issues that they might be going through. This encourages unity. And then we look at characteristics number 5. Characteristic number 5 is that they have 2 distinct parts. Proverbs, they have 2 distinct parts. And for example, they are often expressed in statement form. And this statement has 2 parts. That is what they mean. Richard Wajohi. Richard, what's the problem? The proverb, just as we have seen, the proverbs have 2 distinctive parts. They have two parts that are namely the preposition, and the other one is a completion. Now, somebody to give us a proverb that so that we may see even it has 2 or one what? This is who is this OT? OTE. What? Give us an example of a proverb that we see that if it has 2 or 1 is. Or we have Kipchumba 22038. Kipchumba, give us an example of a proverb and see if it has 2 or 1. Just give us any that you have.
Every cloud.
Kipchumba. Yes. Hello.
Every cloud has its silver lining.
Every cloud has
its silver lining.
Now, when you keep quiet, it's silver lining. So we may have the first one being every cloud. Then the remaining give us what we call the completion. Dennis Mongan, you have something to say? Yes.
No, I do not have anything to say.
Kabuga, you have something.
You don't have something to say.
No.
Who loves
Where is this K the
loves
monkey?
longest?
K the monkey? Hello?
Yes.
K the monkey, where you want to see your face? I want to see your face, people. Now let's go to some of what we are referring to as these two equal parts, and not equal part. Generally, they are always two, and one of them we say that the first part belongs to is seen to be the preposition, and the second one as what? The completion. The preposition is said with a raising intonation, while the completion is said with a falling intonation. And it is my hope that you know what rising and falling intonation is. Who has forgotten what it is? Who has forgotten what intonation is? Yes, who has forgotten? Or who doesn't know what falling and rising intonation is? Adam Gitari face the camera. Who is this Adam? Adam. Yes. Why are you asleep? Why are you sleeping in the class? And then Gitari, you are asleep? It's okay. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Now,
No, yeah, my camera was
we
facing
have
up upward.
Bazu.
It's okay. Let us continue. Now we have a. Let's have a write what is on our wall. We may have the first one. For example, asiyekubali kushindwa si mshidani. Sorry. That we have the first part that says asiyekubali kushindwa, which in our case is our preposition. Then the completion says si mshidani. You see that even when translated into English, we say that one that does not accept defeat, which now forms our preposition, then the completion now leads to is not a competitor. You say that. We have number two, we may have fuata nyuki. Most of these proverbs are in Swahili. Fuata nyuki as a preposition. Then you say that the completion as what? Ule asali. We may have every crown has a silver lining. Has a silver lining marks a what? Our completion, and the preposition being what? Every crown. We have the last but not the least of the examples of our examples of the preposition and the completion, being that he who laughs last laughs the longest. He who laughs last laughs the longest. You can see that most these proverbs seem to be having. Somebody is still making some noise. Somebody is making some noise, or you have a question?
Ote.
Yes? Ote, you have something? Ote, what do you have to say?
No, I don't
Yes?
have something to say. I don't have something to say.
It's okay, no problem. Maybe somebody else might be having something before you can proceed to characteristic number 6.
Yes.
There's yes? Timua, so I have something to say. I can see you are raising your hand. Just say what you have.
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say. It's okay, no problem. What about Willie Lisa? I can't see his face, and I would like to see him wherever he is. Let's look at the what? The stylistic number 6 is that they are used according to the situation. Another characteristic of proverbs is that they are used according to the situation. We don't just use a proverb any hurry or in any conversation. Yes, now these proverbs, you use a proverb depending with the situation. For example, an example that, and just before we continue, that we say that proverbs are used in speech and formal situation, and especially when we communicate the serious messages. What do I mean? That we use these proverbs depending on the occasion. Where are we likely to use? Because some proverbs, a certain proverb may not make sense if you happen to use it in a place where it doesn't belong. For example, we may have I'm thinking of a proverb that you may find somebody who is quite arrogant. What do you mean by the word arrogant? Somebody who thinks that he knows everything, somebody who looks down upon the other people, that he cannot be told anything, he cannot be shown anything, and he cannot get advice because he thinks that those people that are around him, maybe they don't, maybe they know nothing. But somebody may say, my friend, sleepiness knows knocking. Or for example, you say that, after having learned how to ride a bicycle, for those of you, or even a vehicle, a car, then you decide that to tell yourself that you are a pro, you can drive it at what speed? 140, 150, then you're saying that you are an expert in driving. But remember that anything can happen. Hello? Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
You realize? Yes, I'm saying that now in such a situation whereby somebody now feels that he knows everything, he's an expert,
Excuse me,
you
sir.
may warn him. Yes. Yes, somebody is speaking. Is it Ernest Mumu is speaking? Yes. You're another one. Who is asking to be excused before we continue? Who is this that wants to be excused? Ian Rana, are you in class? Ian Rana, where is he? I can't see you.
Okay, yes, I'm in class.
I can't see you. Why? Where are you?
My camera has issues.
Who is this? What about admission 22424? Who is it? Admission 22424? Anyway, let's. Now, for those who are playing music, if you continue, I'm going to unmute all of you.
Kabuga.
So let's look at the characteristic number 6, which I've said. Elfin Waroi, you have something to say?
Excuse me, Chair.
Elfin Waroi?
Apart from, yes.
Yes.
Apart from the usage of
alterations,
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Apart from usage of
alterations, got your question.
Apart from usage of alterations, consonants, and consonants in proverbs, is there any other stylistic devices?
Yes.
You have not reached there.
Right.
Yes, so I'm going to go through them because I hope they are there.
Yes, thank you.
They are there. Let's go to, yes, welcome. So I was saying that these proverbs are used according to the situation. You don't just use a proverb anyhow, but you have to use it where it is necessary and which would convey the information that you really want to pass. Let's look at the stylistic features in proverbs. Stylistic features in proverbs. And I hope alliteration is not a new term to you. You know what it is, that it is repetition of initial consonant. That is what I have written. There is a typing error. Should be consonant sound. Yes?
Yes.
Repetition of the initial consonant sounds in ones, for example. Yes, that is a repetition of the sound. For example, in a ondukate, fumbo, mfumbie, mjinga. You can see that the ones that I've written, the ones that I have highlighted, there is that what? The repetition of the sound. You see that? Fumbo, mfumbie, mjinga, mwerefu. That has been repeated. Arindo should be set for a fool. For a clever person will resolve it. So you can highlight as one of the what? The features or stylistic features in the proverbs. Then we have still with a few minutes to write that one, so let me go to the next one. The second one, I can see some people who I'm sure they are not in class. The second one, we talk of parallelism. Parallelism, which is the creating a pattern of similarity of sound. The one that I have written, if, please correct it, should be of. This is creating a pattern of similarity of sounds or length in two parts of the proverb. I've said that this one, what I'm pointing, should be of, not if. Should be of similarity of sounds or length in two parts of the proverb, as shown in the following examples. We have Warek, Hasira, Hasara. If you look at the proposition, those were those making noise? Some people making noise. Now, if you have a look at what we have, the first example, we have a Hasira, Hasara, which we look at, we have the sign that we have the preposition, which is Hasira, and the completion also has one word, just as we have in what? In the proposition, which says that in English that anger causes loss and or damage. Here we have the similarity in sound pattern. Hasira, Hasara, or even the number of ones in the proposition are almost similar to that with in the completion. I don't know whether I'm too fast, but even if I'm fast, what I'm saying is quite clear. Number B, that is an example of a parallelism, is that there is this proverb that I don't know who will read for us. Somebody to read for us this is from, I think from Central, mostly from Central. Somebody to read for us that proverb. Yes. Somebody to read for us, Clinton Jeroge. Yes, yes, very good, a good try.
Kabuga.
It's a very good trial. Another person to read for us.
Kabuga.
Want to hear? Yes. Who is the Ryan? Would you read for us? No, they may not. Newton borrow. Read for us that maybe you might be able.
Wainaga.
Is it possible? Who read for us? Somebody who is fluent in that language. Yes. Somebody who is fluent. But we need to know even how to read. Where is Mutuma?
Ote.
Why is this Harvey Gitonga? Harvey Gitonga. Just read for us. Are you able to read? That is parallelism, part B. The proverb that we have as an example of parallelism, part B. And even if you don't know the language, you may be able to read what is written, yes? You also don't know. Now, who does for us in English? There is one who used to dance, yes?
One who used to dance will become a spectator. One who used to jump over will fall in.
And that is what is one who used to dance. That is just what having been translated into English. That one who used to dance, a time will come whereby he will become a spectator. And the one who used to jump over, there is a time that will come that this person might or will fall in. What does that mean? Or we have the two parts of the proverb are of equal length. Don't look at the preposition from Wainaga Nyaru. Anyway, one who used to, when it is in its original language, you find that the preposition has two ones, and the completion also has what? Two parts, two ones. You look at the second one that talks about, I think that is one that you have, that one used to dance will become a spectator. And aliyekuwa anafuka ama ni kuruka, that the one who used to jump over a time will come to that he falls in. What does that mean? If you happen to look at now the deeper meaning, although right now we're looking at the stylistic features about parallelism, but when now try to look at the interpretation of this proverb is that you may not stay forever in the situation that you are. At times, as the young people, you are very energetic. You start maybe seeing maybe looking down upon the own people, those elderly. But now some will tell you, remember, young man, one who used to dance, at this time you are able to dance, but there is a time you also become a spectator that will not be able to dance. That time, other people will be doing what? Again, at the same time, there are those who may be boastful, especially those who scores an A in an exam. And then you start boasting that you cannot even allow those who got B's to speak. You're only the one who is speaking. Now, somebody tell you, my friend, remember that one who used to dance will become a spectator. Today, you are able to jump, but tomorrow, you may not be in a position to do that. At time, we may also look at I want to be very fast because we have a few minutes remaining, and like us to look at an example of a question or how questions are most asked when it comes to exams as far as the proverbs are concerned. We may have a rhyme, although Let's look at it, which is a pattern of ones that end with the same syllable at the end of the preposition. That if is of, just please correct that one. The preposition at the end of at the end of the completion. For example, we have the one that we have, Hasira, Hasara. When you look at now parallelism, we have the number two parallelism, and I'm just giving an example of that ra, the last one. When you look at Hasira, Hasara, this is what I'm referring to as the rhyme when it comes to the poem, not poem, but sorry, rhyme when it comes to proverbs, that the end sound of the preposition could be similar to that of the completion. That is when we shall talk of what the rhyme. We also have asiyekuwepo as a preposition. We have the end sound and the so that is the rhyme. Carissa, you have something, Moses? Moses, Carissa, you have something? Yes? No, we can't. Now, so many. We have why is this or that this noise? Why noise? Let's continue. I just said. The second one is ellipsis. Ellipsis, which is the deliberate omission of a word or ones. You say that when it comes to proverbs, they are quite short and brief. So you find that we might omit some word, a word or some ones. For example, the one that we have, kufa, kufaana, which means in the English that dying is beneficial. The proverb does not give details about who dies or how death, a painful experience, may be beneficial or advantageous. It is for the listener, if he or she is wise, to mull over the wise saying and understand it. So it is not detailed. There are so many information that is omitted when it comes to what? When it comes to proverbs. They are short, so they happen to omit some ones. The next one, we talk of hyperbole, and I think I also don't think that it is a new term to you, as in simple terms, it is exaggeration, that is exaggeration, and are presented in a way that they are not in the actual world. We may exaggerate some of the things. For example, this is, for example, we have a proverb, ibilisi wa mtu ni mtu. A human being's therefore is a very human being. What does that mean? The person has been what? This person has been exaggerated that to be, and therefore all we look at the second one, which is very easy to understand, is that you not see the elephant moving on your own hand, only the mouse moving on other. It's not possible for an elephant. You cannot carry the weight of what? An elephant. But now this has been exaggeration. But you are just concentrating on what others, the petty things that other people are doing. Just as we read in the Bible, when Jesus says that you are not able to see the log that is in your own eye, but you seeing what is in the other's eye. That speckle, something very little that is there low, you are not able to see it. That is what you are referring to as the hyperbole. There are so many, I don't know whether you'll be able to go through them, or let's look at the paradox. And in paradox is whereby a statement that seems to contradict itself. We have two parts that, but one part seems to contradict the other one. As in, for example, if you happen to look at the example that we have, amani hainchi ila kwa ncha ya upanga, which means peace does not come other than by the sword. Peace does not come other by the sword. Now, what does that mean? We want peace, but at the same time, we are being told that unless we use what? Make use of this sword, the pangas, then there will be no peace. What does that mean? For us to get peace, we have to fight for it. Just as when look at the Mau Mau, when they want the place to be peaceful, but at the same time, they had to fight for it. I think that is the literal meaning of this proverb. We may also talk of personification as a what? I'm sure you know what personification is, whereby we give inanimate object ideas or ideas given the one that we have is ideas given human qualities. These inanimate or ideas are given human qualities. There are some typing errors. I hope you correct it as you have your notes. We have, for example, we may have the one that says manchuba makubwa usitiri mambo. Big houses hide many things. What does it mean? The house has been personified, and this house represents what? Maybe the people. That is what it means. This house has been personified. Or others may say walls have ears, as we have in the Kikuyu. I don't remember what they say, that walls have ears. What does that mean? Walls happen to be personified. That as you speak, you may think that you are speaking to your friend as secret, but maybe a person from outside passing might overhear what you are saying. That though you are saying it in secret, but a person from outside might do what? Hear what you are saying. That is what we call words have ears. The words have been personified. We may also have addition, and addition, we say that it is a way of speaking about one thing that took place to refer to another, as if two are of the same nature. At times you may be speaking, but in your conversation, you use a proverb that you adduce now, you assume that as if these two things have something in common. For example, the one that, an example that I have, choice pieces of meat found this washoe on a farm. I don't know who is going to read for us the example that we have in addition. Who is going to read for us? Somebody to read for us?
Who is going
to read for yes, that what does it mean? This is a narrative that has been there, and as you speak, somebody may use it, having in mind that the listener or the audience know the story about Washo, what happened to her, Are you together? What happened to this washoe? So who was Clinton? Who has said it for us?
Oh, me.
Who is going to give us a brief summary of what happened to washoe? Yes. Momo, are you aware of this one? Somebody to give us one. Yes, Jack Motuma. Motuma, tell us what you know about this addition. Who knows what happened? Yes, Ernest Momo, you have something, yes? Momo, tell us. Momo. Yes? Somebody tell us.
It grew in
one.
the farm.
Yes, one by one.
It grew in the farm.
Yes. What happened, Momo?
This is what I remember our teacher telling us, that whatever happened,
yes,
this person called Washu had
yes,
a husband, and this husband had many wives, but I think
yes,
he was not that considered by the husband, and so I think, if I'm not wrong, one day husband had a party, something like that, and then as they were cooking and preparing for the food, some meat was left on the window to cool down, and then Washu went to the farm and was working, yes, something like that, and then a bird came and took the meat and landed on the farm where Washu was.
and the Washu was able to get to have the best choice of the meat. Yes, good one. If you're in class, they'll be given a graph, but they can also do it as a way of appreciation. Somebody else? Somebody wants to say something? That's good. Then a question may be asked. That's enough. That's enough. That is enough. Now, who is likely to be told this kind of a proverb? Shakorire washo, wonder as it is that choice pieces of meat found washo in the farm. At times you may be in a situation. For example, you try, at the end of the time, you happen to get what? A sibling, but you still now have been getting a sibling. I want to get what? To get a pay. You have to start. We don't have to say now, since I cannot get a sibling, let me go to the field. No, you don't have to do that. Keep on trying. Let's look at use of metaphor. I think I'd explained this one, use of metaphor, so by you compare two things directly, yes. For example, we have the one that you have, and guest is a river, and I'm sure this one, Mugi, Mugeni, this one is from central, people from central province. I hope so. And I know it's known. I would have written where it comes from. It's from the central province, that a guest is a river. What does it mean? That we should be hospitable to guests, since they will just be with us for only a while. At times, and even here in school, especially when we have some visitors here in school, especially during games, we may be told, especially the people from Manguhai, whereby you'll be told now, treat these people well, because they are not here to stay. They are just here maybe for a few hours. So at times, even at home, we should be hospitable to the guests. A person who comes, just ask for a cup of what? A cup of water, and then you start doing what? Just treating well, since it's not there to stay. We must have the use of similes. A fool is like a beehive. What does that mean? is a potential danger. A food is like, so I'm sure you are not strange about what simile is. We may also have another proverb that says, he is ripe inside like a watermelon. He is ripe inside. How does a watermelon look like? From the outer part of it, it looks raw as most of it is green from outside, but ripe from inside. Sometimes, just like a watermelon, might be difficult for you to tell what is in the minds of a person. You're the person, you think that this person could be a friend of yours, but what is inside? It could be a small monster. Are you together? Who is this Jack Motuma? Jack Motuma in class?
Yes.
Are you in class?
Yes.
What have we said about simile?
Bob. Watermelon.
Yes? Yes. What have we said about it?
You compare somebody. Comparison. Yes. Comparison.
And some of you could be inside like a watermelon.
What is a watermelon?
Some of you have this character. Yes. Hello. Now let's. We have a few minutes remaining. Now let's try to look at some of the functions of the proverbs. You can look for more characteristics, but let's look at now some of the functions of the proverbs, and one of them may be to caution. What is to caution? Somebody should tell us what you understand by the word caution. Austin, where is this Austin? What do you mean by the word to caution? To warn, like to warn. For example, mpatangazi kushuka. What does it show?
He who goes up of the ladder eventually comes down.
Comes down. That is what it means. But where are we likely now to use, or who is likely to be told this proverb?
People with pride.
Those who are proud.
Those who are proud.
Yeah.
Why would they be proud? Maybe
because they have got some money
Think too highly of themselves.
Because they have Ndunya and Moki.
Because they think too highly of themselves.
Yes, but maybe one day you will do what? You may eventually come down. Again, for example, I normally see some
captains.
Yes,
prefects. What do you mean by prefects?
He's here.
Prefects. And what do you think they mean when talk of about the prefects?
Yeah, when classes were changed.
They think they've made it, but
Please, let us control. Let's control ourselves. Control yourselves. Why do you think a person may be told this kind of proverb? For example, let me make use of this Gerard Mwoki. Gerard Mwoki, are you in class?
Yes.
Gerard Mwoki, I'm looking for you.
Yes.
Where are you? I want to see you.
I'm here.
Yes, Gerard. Now, I will just let me use an example. Let me use an example that when you come back, we happen to elect you. Let me not use the school setup.
When?
That after the school, we elect you as a member of parliament. Together. Now, before when you are campaigning, every person in the constituency has access. Don't say shindwe. Just give an example that every person has access to you, and whoever wants to talk to you, you are very much free or ready to talk to him. But immediately after we elect you the member of parliament, you go and disconnect all the watch, and you go and destroy the bridges that we have been using to cross to where you are. You find that now all those who are around
That's
you,
not good.
you now start mistreating them. This time we may tell you, my
Prefects
friend,
be what?
mpandangazi fanya nini? Ushuka. Today you are here, you are there, up there. Tomorrow utafanya nini?
You'll be
And
down.
of course
You must be humble.
prefects. Of course, some prefects they are chosen. Then they start punishing others, even with some problem or mistakes that they can easily forgive. Isn't it? But it's not there.
Wamezoea.
No, that's enough.
No.
Then we also have this one. Let's continue. Now we have this number, example 3, about from Luya. This one is from Luya. I don't know who is going to read for us. The example number 3 is still in the question. Who is going to read for us? Yes.
Bana.
Who is from the side? Who is from that side to read for us?
From
that side.
Kehara.
Ruta is raising his hand.
Kehara is from that
one by
side.
one. Let's not make noise. Let's behave ourselves. Who is going to... you
James
read for us?
Lyndon.
Butule bumanyu mwamirae.
That's good. That's good. Yes. Which may, in translated English, may talk of sleeplessness, knows no king. What does that mean? And the basic idea here is that kings and rulers are even, they are quite authoritative and respected, but they are not invariable. What does it mean? They can make a mistake. They can fall. It doesn't mean that you are a prefect, does not mean you cannot make what? You cannot do anything wrong. So at times, as prefects, as captains, we need to reason out that this person, not every thing that you have to be punished. Some things you can be sorted.
Exactly.
That one is off. Again, it also cautions those who are boastful. Those who are boastful, they think they are experts. Even when people are trying to sort out a certain problem in mathematics, a certain concept, you don't want to listen because the ones that are discussing it are always behind you. At times you may turn by friend, sleeplessness knows what? Knows no king. You have to be careful in what you are doing. Are we together? Maybe some of you are already kings, but do what? Be careful. Whatever you are doing there at home, you may find that you have become experts, but not until you fall that you realize that you are not what? You are not all that perfect. Some may be used to cancel that. What do you mean by this, to cancel, or even to advise? For example, the one that I have, do not abuse. Should be do not abuse, not abuses. Just correct that typing error. Do not abuse the crocodile while you are still in water. Under what circumstance, under what situations are you likely to be told this kind of a proverb? Or under what circumstance are you likely to use this kind of proverb? Sometimes, yes.
The police station.
In the police station, you find that there is a certain police officer who you want to go and teach him a lesson, him or her, a lesson.
Chief
then
Camp.
you have a few stones. Yes, you have a few stones. Then you go to the police station or the army barracks. Then with the two stones. Then you want to do what? To treat an officer. This, what is likely to happen to you? What is likely? I want to be very fast. We're almost. You'll be beaten up, isn't it? What about when you are at especially when you are, anyway, let me not use that one. But you see, we have a group of people, you are just one, and we have around 20, 40 people from the other side. Will you start abusing them? You just, instead of teaching them a lesson, you might be the one who will be done what? Will be told that lesson. So do not abuse a crocodile. The crocodile, when you are still in water. We may also have the warning, such as the asiyefunzwa na mamaye hufunzwa na ulimwengu. He who does not will be taught by the world. And I'm sure so many people right now that you are at home, we are giving you advice. We as the teachers keep on giving you advice, but you find that some end up giving us what you call the deaf ears. What do we mean by deaf ears? You don't listen. Since you are in a digital era, you say that these parents are over, is it analog, as you normally say. But these are some things that we have seen. If you have to look at, listen to what you people, what is happening to the students a few months ago, 1 or 2 months, we were shocked to hear that some things have happened. And I'm sure you've also had them through the media, that the youth, most of the youth are getting destroyed. Why? Because not because they were never taught, but they are just giving what? Deaf ears to the advice that the parents, the elder people are telling them. So if you don't listen, one is there waiting to teach you, and in fact will be in the hand way. That's what it means. So at times when you have been given advice, please listen. Listen to them. Don't say you have to go and try why people are not telling you not to try this, not to practice this. Your fingers. Peter, what are you saying? Peter, you want? Yes? Peter, your hand is up. Let me, we may also have the example number 3. Yes? Example number 3, some to read for us. Willie, Leesa. The number 3, the last one, what does it say?
He who excretes on the road will find flies when he comes back.
Yes.
Kihara, have you heard?
That shows whatever you do has, don't say he has a tendency of doing it on the road, because whatever you do has what? The repercussions. Don't say Kiara. I'm sure Kiara does not do it. Please. Don't spoil his name. So whatever you do, good or bad, you may decide that you are doing it since you don't belong to this place. But as you come back, you find what? The flies. Whatever you do has what? The consequences. You are told don't do this one, but you want to do it. Remember, you still be affected by what? I don't think that you find it very well when you find flies somewhere, isn't it? Does not do good. So what you do, whatever you are doing right now, remember that the consequences are awaiting for you. Those are some of what I wanted us to discuss. Then within a minute, we have question 1 and 2. This is the way most of the questions in Proverbs, we get such questions. We have, for example, number 1, the neutral might be tiny, but it still does what? The question 1, classify the genus and verb. You may find some people now saying that this is a narrative, which is not. Others might say it is a riddle, which is not. Others might talk of it as a tongue twister, which is not. Isn't it? Is it a tongue twister? This is a proverb, isn't it? This is a proverb. So you get, it's a proverb. Then question 1, you get 1 mark. Now question 2, find another item that has the same meaning as the one above. Which other proverb has a similar meaning to this one?
Do not
The
judge a
needle
book by
might
its
be
cover.
tiny. That's very good. You can get a grab from the other members. Do not judge a book by its cover. What, do we have another one? Do we have another one? That's enough now. That's enough. That is 7 marks. Do we have another one? Do we have another proverb that has Ian, you are saying something? Ryan, sorry. Ryan Kim, you have something to say?
No.
I think also maybe have you seen do not judge a book by its cover?
Yeah.
That is Mwangi, Dennis Mwangangi. Your hand is up. Anyway, what about the audience? Who is this that you are likely to, for what audience won't the Gina be suitable? Who is likely to be told this kind of a proverb? Yes, Will Laisa, who is likely to be told, or the audience, who is likely to be told this kind of a proverb? Yes. We have Ernest Momo, Dennis Mwangangi. What is it? Just unmute.
Workers.
The workers.
Yes.
Why do you think workers? Because
More like
we are
reason.
told to give the reason. Give the reason for your answer. Why do you say workers?
Okay, in this case, I may mean something like those who do not work in high places, in the sense that they may have limited resources or yes, something like that, but they can still manage to do their work well and if possible get a promotion and other benefit from it or from whatever.
That's very good. That's good explanation. Another person with another answer?
Bullies.
K, yes?
People who've lost hope in life.
Yes. Why give us a reason?
Even you might seem that you've lost hope in life, but you are capable of doing greater things in the future.
That's very good. Who else? We have who? Kate? Kate, what do you have to say?
I've already said.
Again, it's okay. What about those people who despise others? What about those people who despise others? Now, you want to say something in the class, but the class tells you, now, what do you know? What can you tell me? You are a Form 2, but a Form 1 wants to tell you something. You said, now a Form 1, what can you tell me? We also have such people in the class that especially those who they talk to you, can also get something from us. Now, the last one, a chick that will grow into a cock is known at the time of hatching. What does this mean? It's also a proverb, isn't it? Or is it a tongue twister? We are almost through. Our time is over, but we can just
a proverb.
It's a proverb. It's a proverb. It's a proverb. Now you see that you already have a mark. Then number B, describe the situation in which this oral material would apply. At what time? Under what situation? Under what situation? When are we likely to get this kind of proverb? Yes.
I think when one is overconfident in something.
When one is overconfident.
I
But
know.
don't you see, let me say, don't you see that, for example, let me just give an example. Now, who is this one? As in Form 1, you find that you are getting what? The overall marks or scoring an A. Form 2, we are able to say that you are scoring an A. Form 3, you are scoring an A. So we are likely to see that even in the Form 4, you are likely to get what? A good grade. But when you look at these students who is not bothered, it's just lazy, and it's just getting a D. And D, is he likely to grow into this a cock?
No.
It's not, isn't it? So
He
we
will
are able
become
to
a
tell what
watermelon.
kind of a person will become watermelon. So we are likely to judge what you are likely to be depending on what? The current situation. You are a chick. Right now you are a chick. Now what is one? Right now you are a chick, but through what we see in you, we are able to judge exams, or it's just going to be a failure. So we have to see things and it is not only the chicks, but even a relationship, the friendship that is likely to materialize, we are able to see it. Sorry, but you didn't see this one. I'm saying that we are from the beginning. We are able to say, now look at this person. How is he? Is he organized in his work? And if you want to go into a cock in the future, you have to start early, preparing early. If you want to pass in your exams in Form 4, you have to start early. You don't have to wait until the Form 4. That is the time that you will start now struggling. If you want to do good, to do well in your exams, start as early as possible. Are we together? Are we together? Then the last one, the last but not the least, what target group is appropriate for the above oral narrative? Who are likely to be on these things? Just as I've explained.
Students.
Ernest Mumo, your hand is up. Yes?
In my opinion, I think the
Ernest
most,
Mumo?
I think the targeted
Yes.
will be, let's say, for example, the youth, in the sense that you have discovered that.
The youth?
Okay, the youth. Let's say, for example, in sports, you have discovered that you're actually good in one sport.
The youth. Yes, you are able to see it. That person, then you start nurturing him or her. Is it? Who is this making noise? Who else? Before we wind up, before we just end the meeting.
Students.
Are you satisfied with what you've gone through?
Yes.
Or if one has a question?
Yes, Chad. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Check you here, Lene Beto.
Thank you. I'm happy that you've cooperated.
Oh, siende.
Yes?
Yes.
Now, who is somebody say something? Anyway, I'm happy. Thank you very much for your cooperation. The class has been quite lively, and I hope that this is what happens. Yes. Now, I'm just saying that I'm happy with the way you've conducted yourselves very well. The class, the lesson has been quite lively, and I've enjoyed it. I'm happy. So we meet next time if I still have an opportunity to be with you next week. I'll be glad. You are such a good class. I hope all the others will do what emulates you away the lesson. Others, thank you very much. Stay safe at home. Please observe the rules that have been given, and all be well. All together. Nice evening. You greet those that are around you. Tell them that we are still hoping that we'll be able to meet all of us again. Nice time. Let's end the meeting.
Beto ni chichi, nimeona kishikashika watu.
Good day, good day, good day.
Niona Beto akishikashika watu.
Good day, Chad.
Beto ni chichi.